everyone, my name is Jillian Romano and today we are going to complete a photography art piece. So before we start the art piece, we are going to learn some background information, and the topic for this art piece is racial injustice and stereotypes. So I want you guys to think about what racial injustice and stereotypes mean to you. I want you to take a couple minutes to think about it to yourself, and then once you have had a couple minutes to think about it with yourself, I want you to turn to the person next to you, and I want you guys to have a discussion on what each of those terms mean to you and your partner. So now that you guys have had a chance to discuss with a partner and think about what these terms mean to yourself, I'm going to explain what racial injustice and stereotypes mean. So first we're going to talk about racial injustice. Racial injustice is defined as deep embedded racial thinking, practices, and actions in our current society that have persisted over centuries and are still present today. Anytime a person is denied their rights based on the color of their skin, racial injustice has occurred, and racial injustice affects people's health, education, livelihoods, and lives. A stereotype is defined as a mistaken belief or idea that many people have about a group of people based on how they look from the outside. It can also be defined as a generalized belief that people have about every person in a particular group, and it is also important to note that stereotypes can be partially incorrect or also completely incorrect. So now that we have learned what racial injustice and stereotypes mean, we're going to take a closer look at one artist in particular who explores these two issues within her artwork. Before we dive into our artist, I just want to note that there are many artists who focus on these issues, and there's lots of history behind both of these issues.
My name's Casey Adams. I'm a visual artist. My family history is Scottish, British, Cree, and Ojibwe. I'm a multidisciplinary artist.
Yorkton, Saskatchewan-born artist Casey Adams creates work in a variety of mediums, from video, installation, drawing, painting, photography, ceramics, welding, printmaking, to kinetic adornment and public art. In her artist statement, she says, "I am a social practice artist." Adam holds a BFF in Studio Arts from Concordia University and currently resides and works in the Treaty 1 and the Métis homeland region of Winnipeg, Manitoba. Adam defines herself as an artist, educator, activist, mentor, and of Cree, Ojibwe, and British descent. Adam's work has been displayed worldwide.
I'm working on a new piece called Perception. And the idea behind it is that you can't judge a book by its cover. And I'm choosing models who have faced discrimination. On the left side, I'm taking photographs of these models and I'm interviewing them. I wanted the average Joe to see this work. I wasn't catering to the artistic community. I wanted to cater to the general public. It allows to put a mirror in front of our faces and say, this is what's going on.
In a non-confrontational way, Casey Adams' Perception series asks audiences to question their own prejudices by the simple request, look, then look again. This photo series attempts to challenge racist stereotypes and remedies the aftershocks of colonization and its continuous and present hold on contemporary Canadian society. During the 2014 Winnipeg mayoral election, a Facebook post of the candidate's Gord Steve's wife went viral. Its disparaging remarks, attitude, and overt racism influenced the early shots in Adams' series. When the first photos came out, Adams and the rest of Winnipeg learned that two bodies had been pulled from the Red River. Farron Hall, an Anishinaabe man, a community hero who had slipped in while bathing, and Tina Fontaine, a 15-year-old girl whose tragedy would become the emblematic face of the missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls epidemic. Adams states, "The one strength of the series is that it doesn't point fingers. Its lack of confrontation allows viewers to react and ponder their own prejudices."
The photo series is called Perception. It's the brainchild of artist Casey Adams. The work has been a long time coming.
Well, I've been thinking about doing this work for a very long time, and it had been on my mind to tackle racism for the past 10 years, but I never really had an idea of how to present it.
A recent incident involving a Winnipeg city official's wife who made racist remarks gave her the idea.
This photography collection that started as a Facebook event then became part of a citywide billboard project funded by the Urban Shaman Gallery in Winnipeg. A similar project was initiated in the city of Lethbridge, Alberta, and in 2019, a book collection was published by Portage and Main Press called Perception, a photo series. It highlighted the photo sets of Indigenous educators, artists, activists, politicians, and others who chose to explore their interface with racism, racist stereotyping, and ultimately racist inequalities that exist within our Canadian social landscape. Just as Casey Adams did with her series, we asked students, irregardless of Indigenous or non-Indigenous status, to think about a hurtful comment and/or label they have heard about themselves. We would like them to take a photograph of their face or ask someone to take it, reacting to that comment. For example, Winnipeg Métis author Katharina Vermette, who was a part of the series, said she thought about a time when she was made to feel worthless, a time when she felt like she didn't belong or was unwanted. Now, clear your minds. For the second photo image, think of the positive labels and or of attributes that you would like to be identified with. Take a photo of your face in response to those labels. Now, place the photos side by side. Label the photo with the associated words or phrases that you responded to and present it to your peers. What do you think about the difference? What stands out to you? Now, viewing Adam's series, do you see those significant differences when positive versus negative labels are considered? Finally, what can we do to create more positive community and social spaces in the cities or towns where we live? Vermette, in response to her photo set, concludes, "That's what you see in my photos. Sadness, smallness, and wanting to retreat. And then joy, love, and pure relief. Both are true, and both are only parts of the greater whole."
So now that we have reached the end of this video, I would like to thank each of you for taking part, and I hope that each and every one of you have learned a lot and have had fun completing this photography art project. So in conclusion, I believe that teaching students about racial injustice and stereotypes can help make our world a better place. Students encounter these types of issues on an everyday basis, so it is important for students to understand and reflect on these issues and do things to help stop and improve these issues. Through the photography art piece in our lesson, I hope that students gained lots of helpful knowledge and understand what each of these issues mean and what they can do to help. Although these issues are serious topics within our world and our communities, I hope that this project allowed students to become a little less intimidated when talking about these issues and become more knowledgeable on what the issues are and how they are present in our world and communities today.